Hello, friends. It's Kat, classic original recipe Kat for this video. And maybe you can see why. So it's been a little while since I did an original flavor cat video. Been having tons of fun with Cybercat, obviously, doing some different games, some more modern style games. But I thought it was time to bring back the OG cat is back in the building, everybody. So but I was kind of getting into Baldur's Gate right now. Just felt like a little too daunting. So what I wanted to do was instead kind of play this game. So if you're familiar, you know already based on the image what we might be doing to, or you probably saw when you clicked on the video. Realistically, I mean that's probably the most realistic option. But what we're gonna do today is something weird for me. Okay, I've been doing weird stuff lately. A lot of weird stuff. So I went 2 weeks ago to Vegas, Las Vegas, with basically 8 other neurodivergent people. And we did it very our way. It was kind of hilarious. To just like have everybody there doing their own thing, but also kind of together. It was really great. We did see a couple shows. We spent a lot of time at the pool. We ate a ton, which was nice. That was really what I was there for. Buck was hoping to join us at one point, but he was actually somewhere else that weekend and wasn't able to join us, sadly. But he has been on past Vegas trips with me, unsurprisingly. And we usually have a lot of fun. But this one was not. But it meant that I came home and had so much trouble getting back into real life for like a number of reasons. And I'm still kind of having trouble getting into real life, especially because it's hot as hell here in Los Angeles lately. But I was like, you know what? I don't feel like I have the patience. Sorry, it's also dry. Like I live in the desert, guys, and ladies, and days. Everybody, friends, enemies, haven't decided yet, feeling a little on the fence about what you're gonna be. Either way, the point being is that I'm gonna drink some coffee now. And it's gonna look odd because it always looks odd. I need to set up an action for my damn model for when I drink coffee so I can press the button and then Kat will drink the coffee and I will also drink the coffee. Yeah, you see that? That was me drinking coffee. It goes blah, blah, blah. And then it's done. But yeah, so I've been having a lot of trouble reintegrating into my life because basically I've been taking Benadryl to get to sleep. It's goofy. But either way, the point being is that I don't have the brain capacity for Baldur's Gate 3 right now. But what I do have the brain capacity for is husbandos. So as a general rule, I don't like visual novels. I just don't. But this one, unsurprisingly, caught my attention. The art is fantastic. A lot of the stuff around it is really cool. There's been some stuff around like when is it going to come out fully, because this is a demo that's freely available on Steam as well as itch.io, which is where I grabbed it from. But it's very good. I'm not going to play through every single route. The reason why is because if this seems interesting to you, I want you to go and download it and play it for yourself. So I'm going to pick the unsurprising route, which is Leander. Okay, you can't see my mouse. I just realized you couldn't see it. But if I remember that's correct, how his name is pronounced. He is a mage, so unsurprisingly, that is like a thing for me. But really, I kind of like the 3 in the center. So I will probably play this several times over. We're gonna have to see when it comes out. Either way, let's get started with just the demo. So this is a demo, and this is actually the CG gallery I pulled up a picture of. And there's pictures of everyone in here. Like, oh, look at how cute. And then this is so Emmerich coded. As anybody who has played Veilguard, like he has flowers, he has green magic, so Emmerich coded. That's why I was like, I'm going with him for this video. Yes. Okay, so because Emmerich is my other wizard boyfriend. So he's very emerald coated. So we're gonna make sure we follow him. Then we got this wolf spirit or fox spirit rather, fox spirit. And he's like, if Astarion was bitchier, like I know that sounds bad, but like trust, that's kind of the vibe. Then we got this guy, the Oni devil kind of guy. I'm not sure how to feel about him. He seems really like the standard, like, husband type. Like, there's nothing, like, he's a devil and he does bad things, but, like, not enough to make it, like, your MC is not concerned, seems like. Like, it's concerning, but they're not concerned enough. And then this is a hunter, and they're okay. I'm not interested. I don't do the, like, silent type, unsurprisingly. So let's actually get into this. Let's give it a start. So yeah, Touchstarved. This is not the music that goes with it. They have a note, I believe it might actually pop up, but they're like, hey, this music is licensed. Like, don't use it. So we won't be using it. Get some random music. Enjoy this random music, everyone. But yeah, so we're going to, okay, here it is. Streamers and content creators should set music volume to 0. This is a demo of the prologue and not the finished product. Thank you. So yeah, just keep that in mind if you decide that you want to play it, that this is ye olde demo. It's intended for an older audience, mature content, horror, graphic violence, strong language, alcohol and drug references, injury, and dismemberment. So if any of those things bother you, thanks for coming and watching. I don't mind. If that bothers you, I understand. Some of that stuff bothers me sometimes. And so I didn't have a problem with this, but everybody is going to obviously have their own issues and lines with what they feel comfortable with. So with that being said, if you're still here, let's keep on keeping on. If you accept the content warning, please click to proceed. So we're going to do that. Your choices matter. The decisions that you make may result in unique dialogue, interactions, or even choices in red text, which contain exclusive content. Try playing through the demo more than once and choosing different options. You might even uncover a secret ending. And remember, there are no wrong choices, only interesting ones. Choose wisely and save often. Very good. Let's do this. So left click, progress, text, and dialogue. Mouse wheel up is rewind. Mouse wheel down is progress as well. And then spacebar hides the UI. I use that quite a bit. So we're going to put in our name, Kat. Choose my pronouns. She, her. This world began to unravel long before you were born. It all started with fogfall. Spectral mist bled from the seams where reality wore so thin it split. And from that fog emerged monsters, inhuman beings with unnatural powers. Some possessed language and intellect, others were mindless beasts driven by little more than bloodshed. As unrest spread and cities fell, humans cowered in fear while monsters thrived amid the chaos. And then there's you. You don't know what you are, but one terrible truth is certain. You were born cursed with hands that alter the mind of those you touch. Choose your backstory. All right, so I had chosen this one. I think I'm going to choose the alchemist this time. So this one was you're raised in a temple, and so you do have that does come up in the story. Then you have this one where it's like, oh, you were raised as an outsider, as a hermit who taught you to live in the wild. And then this one is you were an exiled mage took you in as a child, raising you as her apprentice. So we're gonna try that one. Let's try the alchemist this time. Your name is Kat. You selected she, her pronouns. Your backstory is the alchemist. Is this correct? Yes. All right, let's try it. And I don't know. We're going to see if that actually changes anything. I'll say if I see anything. The wasteland stretches as far as the eye can see. There's nothing out here but death. The ever-present stench of decay and countless sun-bleached bones cast like seeds across the barren land. I could say death doesn't scare me, but honestly, I'm desperate. It's been 2 weeks since I joined a caravan bound across the wastes. Finding a group that would accept me was a trial in itself. I can hide my hands and deflect probing questions, but sooner or later, people always suspect something strange about me. As rations grew sparse and canteens ran dry, tensions rose. Despair began to set in until I saw it. Iridia, the city of knowledge, one of the last bastions of humanity left in the world and home to the famous academy called the Cenobium. All the world's knowledge gathered in one place. If there's anywhere I'll find a cure for my curse, it's there. All that stands between me and a new life is a final stretch of salt-soaked wastes, or so I think until I see the first tendrils of fog snaking beneath the wagon. Is this fogfall? My stomach sinks at the very whisper of it, a silent storm more devastating than fire, dangerous in cities, but a death sentence beyond them. A thick blanket of fog engulfs us, snuffing out the lantern's light. The wagon lurches to a stop. An eerie silence, heavy as the mist falls over us. The only warning we get is a strangled scream. Stay back! No! The cry dissolves into wet gurgling. And then the wagon violently pitches to the side. I hit the ground hard, the air punched from my lungs. When I open my eyes, adrenaline lends sudden, awful clarity to the carnage around me. A trader I once shared bread with lies face down in the mud, their back reduced to long strips of torn muscle, gleaming gristle, and exposed bone. Bodies litter the wasteland. I try to rise, but my ankle explodes with pain, so blinding, white blooms across my vision. Only when my eyes finally adjust do I see the dark shape before me. A soulless stoops over the twisted form of a caravaner. I freeze, but it swivels its head. A dozen bulging eyes twitch in my direction and blink as one. The soulless lets out an ear-splitting shriek and charges me. But right before it reaches me, the beast barrels past, vanishing into the mist. A horse screams in the distance. I need to move now. So I'm going to run for the city or head towards the wagon. I'm going to run for the city. I take off, running deeper into the haze. The fog is so thick, I fear I'm headed the wrong direction until I see a dim pinprick of light emanating from the shadow of a spire. It's faint, but it's enough. I came too far to die here. Rapid footsteps echo all around me. I turn in circles, frantically searching the opaque mist for the source, but the fogfall twists and stretches sound. Suddenly, the caravaner's driver bursts forth from the fog. Our eyes meet too late. He knocks me to the ground and slips in a patch of mud. The soulless instantly falls onto him. It catches the driver by his throat and rakes his stomach with razor-sharp claws. He comes apart like wet paper, spilling intestines and viscera in a steaming tide. Fighting the urge to heave, I claw frantically through the slippery muck for a handhold. Shit! My hand catches on the jagged edge of a rib jutting out from the water. Bandages unfurl around the gouge torn deep into my palm. But the pain's quickly forgotten when a hand closes around my wrist. Can you stand? One of the travelers from the caravan leans over me. We need to run! They reach for my hand, and I realize too late that my bandages have come undone. No, don't touch me! The sensation of their thumb brushing the back of my hand sends a shiver down my spine. All of it takes is one touch, and in the space of a breath, my curse takes hold. Their lips peel back into a deranged grin. This is also like super, like when I saw this, I was like, this feels very Junji Ito in its art style, which I thought was cool. I was actually talking about Junji Ito the other day with somebody and I was like, oh, how serendipitous. And so I was like, oh, cool. No, I've seen this face countless times before. This is my curse, madness of my own making. Their grip on my hand tightens until pain radiates from my knuckles. Let me go. Suddenly, clammy hands crush my throat, choking off my breath. Die! Die, 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 die! Spit bubbles at the corner of their mouth and flecks my face. The edges of my vision darken as my lungs screech for air. Alright, I'm gonna try to scream for help. Help! I try to scream, but the fingers squeezing my windpipe cut me off. The more I struggle, the tighter their grip grows. My pulse hammers in my ears, slowing with each thudding beat. This can't be happening. I'm going to die. And not because of the fogfall or the soulless, but because of my curse. Tears sting my eyes. Oh, no, no, not here, not like this. But then their hands drop from my neck, leaving me wheezing for air. My lungs burn with each ragged cough. My vision clears, and the traveler's face takes shape, hovering inches from mine, lips still split in that macabre smile, even as blood seeps between their teeth. They give one last shuddering breath, then slump over the claws hooked through their stomach. The soulless shoves the body aside, its glowing eyes narrow, as though grinning. There's a flash of claws. Red spills across my vision. I thought there'd be pain, but as I sink into the murky water, all I can feel is the grit of the silt filling my mouth and the icy embrace of shallow water. I spot an arm resting among the outcrop of reeds, mine neatly severed at the elbow. It should have taken both arms. Without them, maybe I could have survived. Maybe I could have had a home. Instead, I'll die cold and alone in a desolate wasteland. A fitting end for a monstrosity like me. If this is death, it's not as bad as I feared. The cold is gone, as is the choking stench of bog water. I could drift forever, cocooned in oblivion, until all thought and sensation vanished. No curse, nobody howling at me in madness and terror. Nothing at all. The thought of it has a terrible appeal to it. But I take a reflexive breath, and air pours into my lungs, and then out again in a ragged gasp. Feeling comes flooding back, warm cloth on my bare skin, a firm surface beneath me, a strange tang of sulfur in the air. Do not be afraid. I twist my head towards the voice. Tears flood my bleary eyes at the bright glow of the lamplight. Try not to move. The voice is calm, steady, and commanding, but more importantly, it's a stranger's voice. One thought cuts through my mental fog. I have no idea who this is, and I'm completely at their mercy. Stay away from me. My words come out in little more than a creaky whisper. I clamp my mouth shut, hating how weak and helpless I sound. No. No? Who the hell is this? I'm going to sit up. I manage to push myself up on one elbow, but my head swims and my surroundings give an alarming lurch. A stubborn patient. I don't have the strength to dignify that with a response. Instead, I pull the sheet up higher and wipe my eyes until my vision clears. The stranger towers over my prone form. Warm light limns his pristine medical coat. I instinctively shrink back, and that's when I realize I'm completely naked except for a thin linen sheet. Naked, lying on a low cot with a pair of sharp golden eyes watching my every move. The man's gaze flickers to my exposed, unbandaged hands. I plunge my hands under the sheet, though it's too late. He must have noticed what they look like. Strange, cursed, inhuman. I brace myself for his inevitable disgust, but his courteous smile lingers. He just watches in placid silence as I struggle to make sense of my surroundings. Where am I? Who are you? Be calm. You're safe here. Whoever this is, he clearly has no idea who, or what, I am. I've never been safe anywhere, with anyone. Even my own mentor, my teacher, thought I was nothing but a convenient specimen to be used and discarded. I scowl, pulling the sheet protectively around myself. Where are my clothes? The man's golden eyes narrow slightly. A sharp sigh rustles the papers in his hands. I see you are not to be dissuaded. Your clothes were torn to shreds when I found you, but I procured replacements. With a soft creak, he rises from his chair, giving me a better view of my surroundings. This looks like a medical clinic. Bottles of silvery alchemical concoctions line the counters in neat rows. The air makes my nose twitch, a faint whiff of smoke and something distinctly metallic. The doctor produces a large, dense bundle of cloth, which he sets at the foot of my cot. He's easily a head taller than most, and I have to crane my neck to look at him. I should be polite if I can, especially since I don't know who this is or what he can do. or what he wants with me. Thank you. You are very welcome. I will leave you to get dressed. With a curt nod, he leaves through a narrow door. I hear a soft click as the lock turns behind him. When I don't hear any more footsteps, I reach for the bundle of clothes. An itch on my elbow stops me short. I reach down absently to rub at it, and then freeze when my fingers meet a neat line of stitches. I know what I saw. That beast took my arm clean off, and yet the limb shows no sign of injury apart from the black stitches poking through my skin. I gingerly flex my fingers, feeling my heart race at the sensation. This is impossible. I should be dead, or at the very least gasping out my last breaths. I squeeze my eyes shut, waiting for the pleasant dream to unravel, to wake up and find myself bleeding out in the swamp. But nothing happens. The seconds tick by, and my arm remains resolutely healed, my surroundings pristine and quiet. In numb disbelief, I grab the replacement clothes and begin stiffly pulling them on. They're thicker and warmer than mine were, bundled with a black woolen cloak. But there's one thing still missing: my bandages. The doctor didn't leave me with any, though I know he saw my hands. I slide off the bed and take a few unsteady steps towards one of the drawers. If this is indeed a doctor's clinic, there must be bandages somewhere. I start opening drawers at random, and of course that's when the door swings open. Are you looking for something? I whirl around, clutching a thick roll of clean bandages. I try to step back from him, but my legs bump into the cot. Your caution is understandable, though if I meant you any harm, you would know. That doesn't make me feel better in the slightest, but he makes no move toward me, so I quickly wind the bandages around my hands. The glowing scars and mottled skin disappear under a layer of clean, white cotton. May I ask why you need additional bandages? I can help if you tell me what ails you. I doubt it. Traveling to Iridia was a gamble born of desperation rather than hope. Nothing has come close to curing a curse. And yet, my left arm twitches, the arm that was severed before my very eyes. The doctor's unblinking gaze follows my every move. It's clear he won't drop this without some sort of answer. The bandages protect me, and they warn others to stay away. I've tried every way of covering my hands, and this works best. Most people avoid touching me as soon as they see the bandages. An illness, then? Or a less mundane affliction, spread by contact? I flinch. He doesn't even sound surprised, and that's far too close to the truth for comfort. I'm going to decline to answer. Well, it's personal, and I don't really want to get into it. I have treated every affliction under the sun. I may have answers that you do not. An involuntary snort of laughter escapes me. Where would I even begin? Would he believe me if I told them? I shake my head. I need to know more about this doctor before he figures me out. Who are you? You may call me Kuras. And where exactly am I? Iridia, which I assume was your caravan's destination. I can think of nowhere else for a group of travelers to go. Iridia, so I made it to the City of Knowledge after all. I should feel relieved, but all I can manage is a vague sense of increasing unease. How did I end up here? I brought you to my clinic, of course. You were the only survivor from the caravan, barely clinging to life. You needed immediate treatment. Which you provided? Yes. He says it so simply, as if I'm a small child, and he's explaining basic addition to me. I frown and flex the fingers on my recently healed arm. Aside from being a bit stiff, feels fine, thoroughly attached to me. You're saying that you stitched my arm back on? Pardon? A soulless attacked the caravan. It ripped everyone to shreds. It tore my arm clean off. But when I woke up here, I spent my entire life learning from a Cenobian mage, and I know of no alchemy or magic that could reattach a severed limb. Even if he somehow could heal me with magic, I should be able to detect traces of it, but I sense nothing out of the ordinary. The doctor, Kuras, pinches the bridge of his nose. He sits back down in his chair, quiet for a long time. I do not know where you come from, but Iridia is the city of knowledge and deadly secrets alike. Information is power, and no one should give it or receive it freely. Since you refuse to divulge your secrets, I will not divulge mine. I do not even know your name. I was just... You are new to Iridia, so I will overlook this specific breach of etiquette. Do not expect others to extend the same courtesy. Do you understand? He glanced at my freshly bandaged hands. Loath though I am to admit it, he has a point. I'm a complete stranger to him, yet he saved my life. I take a deep, steadying breath. This time when I speak, I sound a bit more like myself. Cat. My name's Cat. It's a pleasure to meet you, Cat. There's a little more warmth in his smile, his polite demeanor back in an instant. Thank you for saving my life. I chance a smile in return. Even if he won't explain how he did the impossible, there's no doubt in my mind that I'd be dead if not for Kuras. Think nothing of it. I'm not sure if he's just being excessively courteous, but his words only raise more urgent questions. I have to ask, why did you save me? You don't know me. The question seems to startle Kuras. I could hardly leave you to die in the ways. Assisting those in need is the very essence of a doctor's duty. I've never met a doctor who handed out free clothes. My fingers find the edge of the cloak. There's subtle but delicately embroidered pattern around the hem. I try not to think about what price Kuras might have demanded for such well-made clothes. No, I suppose not. Forgive my presumption. I rarely come across such a fascinating patient. I blink. What did he just say? I simply meant that few would cling to life so resolutely or brave such a perilous journey to Iridia. I could not help but be curious about you, Cat. His voice dips to a soft murmur and he abruptly looks away from me. You're pretty curious yourself. Am I? Well, I haven't forgotten about my arm. I wiggled my intact fingers at him. Clearly not. But you haven't asked me for any payments, either. I require none from you. Travels do not have an abundance of coin, and leaving you destitute in a strange place would be unethical. I fall silent, unsure of what to say. Nobody would help a horror like me for free. There has to be some kind of catch or trick, right? A loud knock at the front door stops our conversation cold and spares me from having to say anything else. Duty calls. Unfortunately, you are not my only patient today. The knocking grows more insistent, and Kuras lets out a tired sigh. Please wait. Though he says it quietly, the clamor on the other side of the door abruptly stops. Do you need anything before you leave, Cat? Oh. Between the soulless attack and my miraculous survival, I'd almost forgotten why I came to Iridia in the first place. I need directions to the Cenobium. The Cenobium? The look on his face is downright chilling. He pauses, choosing his words with cold deliberation when he speaks again. Whatever you seek, it is unlikely you will find it there. The Cenobium's gates open for precious few visitors, and even if they opened for you, you would not like what you found inside. My heart sinks. Is he saying that I came all this way for nothing? Risked life and limb for nothing? No, that can't be. I've only just arrived, and Iridia is the largest city still standing. There has to be a cure for me here. Then, if not the Cenobium, where would you suggest? Do you know anyone else in Iridia? I shake my head. Then I suggest a local guide. Head to the Wetwick and ask for Leander, the leader of the Adderstone. Excuse me? The what? The Wetwick. He sounds deeply unamused. Follow the Adderstone postings. They're difficult to miss. When you meet Leander, tell him I sent you. There isn't much to go on, but Kuras points toward the back door. You will be safe so long as you do not draw attention to yourself. That's easier said than done. I've always been a magnet for the worst sort of attention. If you require my assistance, you may return whenever you wish. Though he's smiling, there's a note of finality to his voice. Resigned in my dismissal, I slip out the back door. I find myself standing in a narrow, rather gloomy alley. I pull the new cloak up over my nose, stepping over the contents of emptied chamber pots. Something weighs heavily inside one of the cloak's pockets. My coin purse. Every last coin that I'd scraped together for the journey to Iridia is still inside. The purse doesn't even look like it was opened. There were so few coins to begin with, they probably weren't even worth stealing. I glanced back at the clinic's closed door. Kuras didn't take any payment. He didn't even ask for a future favor. But he also said that in Iridia, secrets are power. Does he expect me to give up mine at some point? That's not exactly a comforting thought. Still, no matter why he did it, Kuras gave me a second chance and a lead on where I might find help. I better get going before he changes his mind. I squeeze out of the alley and get into the crowded main street. The line outside Kuras' clinic leads down the road. Two thin peddlers queue up alongside weathered elders. If any place is in desperate need of a free clinic, it's this one. The cobblestones are treacherously rough under my feet, deep grooves worn between them by regular flooding and decades of hard use. I knew Iridia was a river city, but I didn't expect it to look so eroded. The buildings are tired and dilapidated, all crammed together in narrow streets. A child darts by, clutching something greasy wrapped in paper. The smell of fried food drifts over to me, and my stomach gives a faint gurgle. This morning's catch, fresh up, hot and fresh. Fried up, rather, hot and fresh. Not too many eyeballs today. That sounds disgusting. But I'm starving, so I duck my head under the stall's grubby awning. A large fish leers up at me, its three bulging eyes still visible through the thick layer of crispy batter. The vendor gives me a gap-toothed grin. What's the cheapest thing you've got? The vendor points to a metal basket of what looks like long strips of savory fried dough. Fresh long dads, 3 copper apiece. Don't burn your mouth. I take the coins out, counting them gingerly. At this rate, I might not even be able to afford dinner. I reluctantly drop the payment on the counter and take my meal. 2 streets later, I pass under a wrought iron archway adorned with dangling garlands of red and pink lilies. The buildings in this quarter are a dizzying ride of color, painted walls, and tinted glass everywhere I look. Sheer red and pink curtains flutter in open doorways. Musical voices call out invitingly. Incense mingles with the pungent scent of flowers, barely covering the salt and musk of warm bodies. This must be Iridia's entertainment district. I'm polishing off my food and dusting the crumbs from my hand when I spot a poster. It features the silhouette of a smiling man wearing a single dagger-like earring and the words "The Adderstone" printed above his head. I pause before the poster. What a curious choice of a name. A semi-precious mineral that draws out poison. If Leander is the leader of the Adderstone, then the face printed on the poster is likely his. I follow the line of identical posters around a corner and nearly hit my head on a precariously dangling wooden sign. Looking up, faded orange letters read, "The Wetwick." The facade of the building looks like it's seen better days, but I hear faint music and laughter coming from inside. It's not even midday, yet the wick is packed. A loose collection of Iridians crowd the bar, taking up tables and gathering in the spaces between. They speak amongst each other in hushed voices, their faces drawn and grave. A cursory glance doesn't turn up anyone with a dagger-shaped earring, and I'm considering searching the bar when a loud voice carries across the room. Now, I'm no prior courier. I'm not much for paperwork or pencil pushing. And honestly, I don't even think those robes come in my size. I crane my neck, but the crowd is too dense for me to see the speaker. Gather round, I want to show you all something. There's no time to move out of the way. The audience surges towards the center of the room in a sudden torrent. I'm caught and swept along with them. Hey! The clatter of falling chairs and tables being shoved aside drowns out my complaints. I thrash and throw elbows as heavy bodies press into mine. My hip knocks into a table. I grip it, holding on tight to steady myself. But the crowd is stilled. A pair of gilded boots stride across the tabletop. If you want nothing but guidelines, impractical policies, and needless bureaucracy, you know where to go. I drag my eyes upward. Da-da-da-da. Guess who? A man towers on a table in front of me, arms spread as he addresses his rapt audience. But I'm not going to wait for word from on high. His impassioned words provoke nods and excited whispers, but nothing is as captivating as his brilliant smile. He beams at the crowd around him, a performer on his makeshift stage. And unlike those clerics, I don't need the abbess's approval to cast a spell or two. He raises his hand above the audience. The dagger-shaped earring dangling from his left ear catches the light in a flash of gold. It seems I found Leander. These are our streets. We make our own luck here. He snaps, and a flash of pale green light erupts from his hand. With a flick of his wrist, Leander conjures a ribbon of glittering light. A delicate flower stem sprouts from his pinched fingers. One by one, glowing lily petals unfurl. Leander raises the flowers with a flourish, and the bar bursts into clapping and cheers. My mouth hangs open, and not just on account of the impressive performance. There was no incantation, no spell circle. I've never seen such a beautiful and intricate spell cast so effortlessly. With skills like that, it's no wonder Kuras sent me here. Leander plucks the shimmering flowers out of the air and turns in a slow circle. Now, who could use some good luck? Eager onlookers scoot closer to the table, but Leander's cool green eyes slide right over to them and lock on me instead. How about you? My chest grows tight. Suddenly, I'm in the spotlight. Would you take the flowers? Because obviously... I reach out and take the flowers from him, all too aware of my trembling fingers. There's no weight to them, only a faint warmth that radiates from the stems. As soon as the lilies leave Leander's hand, they dim and they fade away in a shower of opalescent light. To my surprise, Leander laughs under his breath. That's the problem with flowers. They don't last long, but they leave an impression, right? He grins at me. I find myself smiling back. Leander steps off the table, dropping amongst the excited crowd with a clink. All right, show's over. Back to work, everyone. The audience disperses, and Leander heads toward the bar. Now's my chance. I start after him, only to find myself face to face with one of his followers. Where do you think you're going? I need to talk to Leander. Uh-huh, you and half of Lowtown. Leander's busy right now. Adderstone business. Come back tonight. After the moment we shared, surely Leander can spare a word. But the follower crosses her arms, unmoved. I glance over her shoulder, hoping to catch a glimpse of Leander. As though sensing my gaze, he looks up, and for a moment our eyes lock. Then Leander turns away to murmur something to the group gathered around him. The follower moves to block my view. You hear me? I'm not looking for trouble. This doctor, Kuras, said I should find Leander. That's... She's interrupted by a hand resting on her shoulder. Kuras sent you. He said you could help me. Leander nods at the woman, and she steps aside wordlessly. Follow me. He leads me to the crowded bar. There's so little room that his broad shoulder presses against mine. I tense, but he doesn't seem to mind at all. Sorry about that. Adderstone watch out for one another, but they can be overprotective at times. Lesson learned. Leander flashes me a broad grin. You're new to Iridia, aren't you? He says it with a genuine air of curiosity. Do I stick out that much? No, but I'm certain I'd remember seeing a face as lovely as yours around Lowtown. My eyes drop to the polished countertops. I'm not used to flattery, and being this close makes eye contact difficult. As if on cue, the bartender approaches us. What'll it be? Leander. Why did I say his name? Either surprise me and add anything my friend wants to my tab. I'll have what he's having. While the bartender leaves to fix our drinks, Leander leans his elbow on the counter. His sleeves right up, revealing a long, raised scar. I catch myself following its winding path across his forearm. Leander's eyes wander over to me in return. When they lock on my bandaged hands, a bitter taste rises in my throat. Here come the questions. Is there any chance Kuras sent you here for cheap drinks or barely edible appetizers? No. He pushes his hair back from his forehead, sighing, when it immediately falls back into place. That's a doctor for you. Always business. I'm not sure he even knows how to relax. The bartender returns with a pair of glasses. I raise mine and give it an experimental sniff. It smells faintly yeasty, like beer, but with an undercurrent I can't quite place. A quick sip confirms my worst suspicions. It's awful. Briny and sour with a distinct hint of pickle flavoring. Beside me, Leander takes a deep swig from his glass. So, how can I help you? I need to get to the cenobium. As soon as the word cenobium leaves my mouth, the group standing nearby falls silent. When the wary look's thrown my way, it's clear I've broken some taboo. It had to be the cenobium. Leander pushes away from the counter. Let's continue this conversation outside. I rise to follow him. Leander leads me into an alleyway tucked behind the wet wick. Layers upon layers of frayed and faded Adderstone posters plaster the walls. Seeing them side by side, the resemblance between Leander and his printed likeness is impressive, if not abstract. Kuras didn't send you here to ask for a personal escort to the cenobium, did he? From his tone, he already knows the answer. No, he suggested that I reconsider. And yet here you are, asking about a guide anyway. He looks at me expectantly. I don't want to tell him about my curse. The less people know about my monstrous capabilities, the better. Thankfully, Leander takes my reluctant silence as an answer. Are you aware of Iridia's particular currency? Information's worth its weight in gold here. I don't much care for outdated traditions, so I'll be completely honest. The cenobium won't help you. They're more likely to torture you rather than lend you a hand. Torture? My teacher never described anything like that. But the cenobium is supposed to be a place of learning. A sanctuary. The cenobium has always been heralded as the last bastion of human knowledge, a shining beacon of hope in a fading world. If any place held answers, it would be the cenobium. That's why I came here. Leander nods patiently. You're not the first person to fall for their propaganda. I grew up idolizing the cenobium. I wanted nothing more than to join their ranks, to learn magic from the best, to make a real difference. I was young and blinded by the legends and the legacy. I was so damn naive. He shakes his head. All it took was one trip here, to Lowtown, to show me the truth. Unless you've got a heavy purse or highborn blood, the cenobium doesn't give a damn. They'll never open their gates for the ones who need help the most. Then it's all a lie? Things that seem too good to be true are often just that. Such a simple statement, and yet it leaves me reeling. Leander watches me as though weighing something in his mind. But that doesn't mean you're hopeless. Far from it. I founded the Adderstone to help people like you. We settled disputes, slay feral soulless. Hell, we've even been known to patch a leaky roof or two. Whatever troubles you, we can help. Free of charge. I'm shaking my head before he's even finished his speech. My patience is wearing dangerously thin. I appreciate the offer, but my problems can't be solved by a group of good Samaritans. To my chagrin, Leander doesn't look remotely surprised. Then you're looking for help with something more serious. Something not even Kuras could crack. Must be a truly remarkable problem if you came all the way to Iridia searching for help. Tell me, how can I help you? Leander may not work for the cenobium, but if his demonstration was any indication, he's even stronger than the mage who raised me. She couldn't do anything about my curse, but maybe. Indecision gnaws at me. I don't know if I can trust him, but it's not like I have any alternatives. I hate to admit it. This might be my only path forward. My confession comes out in a strained whisper. I'm cursed. He looks me up and down, taking in my face, my eyes, and finally, my hands. Is that why you bandage up your hands? My touch is dangerous. It changes people, hurts them. Before I've even finished, Leander pulls his left glove off. He flexes his fingers and grins. All right, let's see it. As he offers me his hand, a prismatic flash of magic ripples across his palm, an enchantment for protection, but I'm already shrinking backwards. I can't. I don't care how confident Leander is. I won't allow myself to hurt him, to see his kind face unrecognizably warped. I don't want to hurt you. I'll be fine. Trust me. I've seen enough curses and hexes to last me for 2 lifetimes, but I'm still standing. Do you really think Kuras would send you here if I couldn't handle it? How should I know? I only met him today. I'm twice as good as any cenobium mage. If anyone can help you, it's me. You don't know what you're asking me. I'm asking you to trust me. I look from Leander's outstretched hand to his confident smile. Then I begin unwinding the bandages from my hand. If you lose control, don't say I didn't warn you. You can tie me up first if that makes you feel better. His attempt at levity does little to comfort me. With each joint I expose, I grow increasingly certain that this is a terrible idea. But if he's bothered by how my hand looks, he doesn't show it. All right. Deep breath. On my count. My fingers hover shakily over Leander's palm. 3, 2, 1. I'm gonna touch it. I tap his palm once, as quickly as possible. It's barely more than a brush, but that's all it ever takes. Heart racing, my eyes dart to his face, but Leander only smiles gently. See? It can't be. When I reach for his palm again, Leander catches my wrist before I can pull back. I told you, there's really nothing to worry about. He trails off when my thumb grazes the soft skin of his inner wrist. I search Leander's face for traces of madness, but his eyes remain a clear, soft green. Neither of us speak as I trace the contours of his palm, lost in an awareness I wasn't anticipating. It's not as though I've never been touched before. My curse only extends to my hands, and desperation spurs creativity. But all that pales in comparison to this. I've never experienced such intimacy. My fingers, long deprived by years of bandaging, pick up every single detail. The grooves along his palm, the smooth shell of his nails, the bones in his wrist. For as long as I've lived, I've never been able to hold someone's hands without dire consequences. I never realized what I was missing. While Leander's pulse is steady, mine hammers as fear gives way to excitement. I'm going to keep touching him. My hands glide over Leander's wrists and up his arm where smooth skin abruptly gives way to a raised scar. It matches the one that runs from his collar to his cheekbone. Could it be the same wound? When I glance at Leander's face, his lips part as he considers his words. Am I the first person you've been able to touch like this? My hand goes still on his arm. So far. Then is it everything you wanted? When I nod, Leander turns my hand in his to inspect the gleaming fissures crisscrossing my knuckles. There's no revulsion in his face, no fear. He looks up at me and grins. It's not every day I meet someone as enticing as gold. He winks and lets me go. I draw my hand back, take a steadying breath. My head feels like it's stuffed with cotton. Habit alone guides me through the motions of rewrapping my hands, although my fingers tremble too much for the bandages to lie flat. I can't believe that worked. I've really forgotten my manners. May I ask your name? I'm Kat. Kat, this curse of yours is unlike anything I've seen before. I can tell you're careful, but it's best that you keep this between us. Are you staying in Lowtown? I pause. Room and board was something I had yet to consider. I don't know. Let's get you properly settled then. The Wick is noticeably quieter. Without their leader, most of Leander's followers have dispersed, or in a few cases, fallen asleep beside their drinks. Got any rooms left, or did my lot grab them all to sleep it off? The bartender, who I now realize doubles as an innkeeper, slides a key onto the counter. The usual room? Leander's laugh sounds slightly strained. No, not today. This is just for my friend, Kat. Right. Stay as long as you like. You two have fun. Have fun? Leander clears his throat, then holds the key out to me. I hesitate. My coin purse barely holds enough for a day's worth of meals, let alone a room. How much do I owe you? Nothing. My treat, since you shared your secret. Food, drink, a warm bed, anything you need. Carefully, I take the key from him. It's small, but heavy in my palm. I never expected to have a warm bed in Iridia, let alone free meals. Thank you. Iridia is twice as dangerous as it is wondrous. Be careful out there. And if you need a reprieve from what haunts you, come find me. I nod, taking one last look at the gleaming bronze key before tucking it into the pocket of my cloak for safekeeping. Leander gives me a friendly wave before returning to the bar. Ooh, this is getting long. Okay. Dust glitters in the sparse rays of the light illuminating the room. The furniture is tired, the walls cracked. A large, lumpy bed serves as the centerpiece. I can't remember the last time I slept in a bed, and I never imagined I'd sleep in one tonight. When I collapse onto the bed, the springs let out shrill squeaks. Finally, I can allow myself to rest. My eyes fall shut before long. I wake to pale sunlight filtering through the narrow windows. Despite the clamor of the tavern below, the precious hours of rest have restored my strength and given me a flicker of cautious optimism. If I play my cards right, today could be the day I get closer to finding a cure. I quickly head out of the wet wick. Da-na-na-na-na. The air clings sodden and heavy with the lingering scent of rain. Without the afternoon crowd, the district looks barren and bleak. In the middle of the street, a pair of crows quibble over stale bread crusts. I pause, watching them while I consider my next move. Kuras and Leander both made it clear that the cenobium can't be trusted. But I came so far and endured too much to give up now. I need to see the cenobium for myself, if only to satisfy my curiosity. Surely someone in the bar can point me in the right direction. I'm about to turn back when a shadow passes over me. A cloud, I think, until a puff of hot breath tickles the back of my neck. The shadow trickles down the street in rivulets. Formless, dark, spreads like ink into blotted shapes. Claws stretch. A muzzle splits open to reveal long, jagged teeth. A growl rumbles so low and deep I feel it in my chest. I want to run, to scream, but I feel trapped, as though the slightest movement or breath will snap the jaws around me. No, I won't let it end like this. If I'm going to die, I want to look at what got me in the eye first. I steel myself and then turn. The shadow vanishes as quickly as it came, and I'm left standing in the middle of the street alone, save for the figure reclining in the shade of a nearby stoop. A monster, that much is clear from a glance, one that could nearly be mistaken for human if it were not for the tufted ears, the tail curled around his ankle. Alright, so this is husband number 3, husband option number 3. But this has taken quite a bit longer than I had anticipated. And so I'm going to end this here. I'm going to save it. We may come back to it. We shall see. But yeah, tell me what you think. Tell me if you like seeing this type of stuff. If you like, if now, especially now, if you are interested in this game. I, like I said, have not generally been a fan of visual novels. I kind of find them a little bit off-putting a lot of the times. But something about this one just really attracted me, both from the art perspective and I think from the perspective of like what the characters are. And so that got me thinking, oh, hey, let me check this out. I did play through it yesterday or the day before and really loved it. So I thought, I was like, oh, hey, let's put this on the channel. Yay. But yeah, so that is that for today for Touchstarved. Yeah, so like I said, leave me a comment. Let me know what you think. If you'd like to see me finish this, or if you're like, don't finish it because I want to go play it myself. I totally understand. But yeah, I'll leave links to it on Steam as well as on itch.io, or itch.io, or however you like to pronounce that website. But yeah, enjoy the game if you do decide to play. Also tell me which character you liked the best. Which was your favorite? So until next time, everyone, thanks for watching, and I'll see you later this week.